How's it going, everybody? So this is for Facebook, so I'm going to put it on my Bible study channel. So the video I Pet Goat because George Bush in Sarasota, they were reading the book The Pet Goat. A goat, of course, is not a sheep. And they were reading The Pet Goat when the twin Trumps came down. And it was all the ritual for what was coming. And this is about the next 9/11 or the next, which you see Trump with his hand signal. It says Trump exit. Looks like Year of the Rabbit up there on the wall. And then there's a total solar eclipse, which is what that corona that's around. Her name's Lily in the cartoon. Now, an AI did this. And they had a front man, just like Steve Jobs was a front man for Apple computers. Like they tried, and then Hollywood will show you a movie to make you think that how Facebook was started or what Apple computers. No, of course not. But that's what they have to do. They can't tell you the AI is inventing everything, is scripting everything. And of course, the Bible tells you your enemies are not flesh and blood, but the fallen angels. And so we know from the album Ghost in the Machine that came out October 2nd, the Donnie Darko date, 1981, that the ghost is in the machine. It's the fallen ones. And then, of course, they actually tell you that themselves. If you go to my Bible study channel and click playlist and go down, it's a 3-video series on a playlist. They'll come one right after another called Artificial Intelligence is the Ghost in the Machine. And in parentheses, Mark of the Beast, because we get into how all of that works. It's not a voluntary thing. All goats will be handed over to worshiping the image of the beast, thinking that the Antichrist really did return from the deadly wound that we are waiting on to happen. It'll be a fake staged event. And so, but there's the corona. And when it takes place, she gets very sad. Exit lights up. Rabbit lights up. We're now in the year of the rabbit, and there's the corona, April 20th. Spurrier's birthday on 420. Hitler's birthday on 420. Spurrier's 420 days away from Trump's birthday. And we've told you about Florida being Devil's Advocate University. And then you see the lotus will come over, and Trump gave the Pope a lotus sculpture. And lotus is all about rebirth. And there's the lotus. So it means the rebirthing is taking place. And this whole cartoon is the rebirthing. It's not necessarily in order. It's like the book of Revelation. It comes in waves. And James Bond mimicked this man standing in the boat. And I've shown you all that before. Here's the right eye wound. So the scarab in Egypt also represented rebirth. And there's the right eye wound. Zechariah 11:17, the Antichrist receives a deadly wound to the right eye. So the Antichrist, or Trump, is 3 different characters, and he's also being programmed. That's part of the rebirthing. And Trump Tower has 5 multiple addresses, 721 through 725 Fifth Avenue. That perfectly matched the little horn of Daniel 7 passage as the Antichrist. No coincidence there. And a trump is a horn, and Jesus said the Antichrist would be here in his own name. I believe it's John 5:43. And so you see when he goes down, it'll say war through his eyes, war coverage, markets plunge. So the dollar will be gone. World War III will have begun. No more Publix, if you get the idea. 1 out of 4 people die, according to the Bible. That's what I go by. War, famine, death, pale horse, red horse. But the white horse is his event of a death that's not really real. And then a crown is given to him because he doesn't earn it. He doesn't really rise from the dead. So 2 days after his death event, you will be living in the book of Revelation in real time. And that's what we've been waiting for. And oddly, we know the tanks, the Ukraine, they're getting tanks. And so we seem to be, now there's Day of the Dead. But what I wanted to show you was the birthing. This is the birth canal. And Rihanna representing Isis. This is the birth canal. Rihanna representing Isis showed up at the Super Bowl pregnant. And so all that whole Super Bowl ritual was just about, you're within 9 months now. Doesn't necessarily mean so, because they will throw out empty breadcrumbs. But they sure want us to think that that's the time we're in. So if I speed this up, and I've been thinking that's the time we're in. I mean, we've been waiting for the longest time for them to. So here comes through the birthing process, coming through the birth canal. And again, James Bond in Skyfall stood in a boat as if he was in a trance, and that boat went through a dragon. I've shown you Facebook that many times. So what you're about to do here is come through. Now there's going to be a nuclear event. It does appear. Who can make war with the beast? And then he will come rising up through the abyss with his right eye wound. That's the Dark Knight Rises, when James Bond literally climbed out of a pit. And I think we're getting, hang on, let me find the one other place where he comes out of the canal. So right here, I'm going to slow it down to super slow speed. Now, this is him being birthed. And James Bond, of course, we showed you in Skyfall when the man said, "What's your hobby?" And James Bond said, "Resurrection." We've shown you that through the subtitles before. So this is the Antichrist literally being birthed, coming through the birth canal, coming through the female reproductive. Remember when the water broke, that aquarium? So they've been giving you the ritual, they've been giving you the symbolism. And the Rihanna event was definitely the symbolism. She's representing Isis, Venus, Lucifer, the female goddess. So that's the last time you see him being birthed. And well, before you get birthed, there's a pregnancy. And that's what that was all about. If you're wondering why there was a pregnant woman performing your halftime show, that's why there was a pregnant woman performing your halftime show. All right. Love y'all.